Welcome to UpperEdge on Full Throttle TV for tonight's London Recreational Racing Cup Series powered by Road Life event. We're just moments away from getting underway with tonight's racing program, but first let's take a moment to thank the people that make it possible. London Recreational Racing. London Recreational Contracting has gained a remarkable reputation as an industry leader in concrete pool and spa construction by focusing on three key factors: quality, creativity, and outstanding customer service. A proud sponsor of countless racing vehicles and events, London Recreational is a leader on and off the track. The Circle Alliance. The Circle Alliance is a digital and online global marketing firm, providing marketing, promotional, and advertising platforms. The Circle Alliance showcases a diverse collection of musical artists, male and female models, and business organizations using a vast variety of digital and online sources to market clients' products and services worldwide. The Circle Alliance is the vehicle for your vision. Our Expression Studio, a small digital studio with corporate-style passion, creativity, and capability. Our Expression has a diverse clientele base that extends from massive web development and CMS projects to the finest detail in a graphic design project for a low-budget race team. Motor Components. Facet Purelator self-priming high-lift electronic fuel pumps are the specified choice of both domestic and foreign nameplate original equipment diesel and gasoline engine manufacturers.
And we welcome you to the Sonoma Raceway for Round 6 of the London Recreational Cup Series for the UpperEdge Racing League. And it takes us to Sonoma Raceway, our first road course of the season. Up here in the booth, I'm Justin Kolb, alongside Michael Skinner as always.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here. You know, we're here in the wine country, as they call it. So it's going to be a good race. It's hot and slick out there, so these guys are going to be sliding around a bit here tonight. But as you know, road courses are always predictable. You know, everything's changing constantly. It's so hard to just stay on the racetrack. So it's going to be interesting tonight, and I think we're going to see a different winner for sure.
So you have some laps here on track, Michael. Around 11 turns around this tricky, windy racetrack. What's it going to take to get to victory lane here tonight?
Well, for me, and you know, when it comes to road course, for me, you know, especially one like Sonoma, you know, this is one, you know, Watkins Glen is extremely fast. You know, it's a rhythm place. This one is very technical. You have to hit your marks, your braking points. You got to be easy on the throttle so you don't spin the tires. But the biggest thing here is, you know, to me, you can kind of give up the first half of the racetrack, you know, to be good on the second half. You know, the first half is so windy and so tight, you know. It's almost kind of like a short track in that sense. But then when you get to the other half, you know, taking that right-hander to go down this S's, that's where you want to be really good. You want to hit your marks, be perfect, because that's where you get all of your speed. You can make huge time if you have the perfect rhythm through that section and all the way through 11, the big U-turn at the very end. So I think it's going to be, you know, somebody that's able to keep it on the track tonight, keep all four wheels on it, be consistent, be smooth, you know, and have an average lap time, not just that one quick one.
And as we said, 11 corners around here, and as you said, very technical racetrack. What track or what turn do you think is going to be the trickiest for these drivers tonight here, Michael?
Really, it's kind of different for every driver. I'm sure that my trickiest turn around here is different than yours, you know, just because, you know, we can drive the cars so different. But I'd have to say probably for the majority of people, you know, it's probably the hard braking zones of going down into 11 and 7. You know, those are really hard right-handers, and you got to be on the brakes, and you got to let off the throttle, and you got to let off the gas to let it roll in the center. But you know, somewhere else you got to look out for is turn 1, that quick left-hander up the hill, and then number 2, that slow right-hander. You know, right after that. The car gets really light taking that quick left-hander, and then you got to get on the brakes. So the rear end kind of wants to slide around right in that section. But really you can say it's Sonoma. All of these corners are difficult for different reasons. Fours downhill, it's a right-hander, so it makes your braking points a little different than if it was going uphill or if it was even ground. So it's just a tough racetrack. People love it. It's probably one of my favorite racetracks because it's difficult. You really got to put time in here, and you really got to be smooth and consistent.
And as we just began qualifying here, looking back in practice, Michael, we really had two drivers that we're probably going to have to look out for here. And that's the 33 Corey Hoover, who we're watching now, and the 36 of Cal Watmore. Both those drivers, the only drivers to run a lap time in the minute 14-second bracket.
Yeah, they seem to be taking place of Michael O'Reilly and Carl Shed tonight. They seem to be the class of the field. For whatever reason, they just seem to hit on this racetrack and seem to be very quick. Now we're gonna have to see if it's consistent, over a long run. As I just saw, even on the qualifying lap, the 33 car got a little loose for that, first left-hander of turn one. So it's really gonna depend on how consistent these guys can be. Those other guys might have been working on longer race runs rather than, that one quick lap. Track position really doesn't play too big of a factor here just because it is a road course and there's so many places you can dive down and outbrake somebody. But I think we're going to see a lot of contact tonight to try to move people out of the way. That's another way you can pass here. But like I said, I think these guys are the class of the field tonight. I think we're going to either see the 33 of Corey Hoover win or, like you said, Carl Whitmore.
So as you can see to the right, they're going to be trying or experimenting with a new qualifying board tonight. We hope for the best with that. But going to pitch strategy now, Michael, talking to some of the drivers, sounding like it could possibly be a one-stop race if you time it right, but if not, looking at a two-stop race tonight.
Yeah, it seems to be most league races that I've been a part of here and even watched, including tonight. It seems to be a one-stop race just because you can go so far on fuel here, a lot farther than actually people realize. But talking to a couple of the drivers, they said you can go with a couple of different things, especially if you want to get off strategy from the fastest cars, like Corey Hoover and Cal Watmore, is you can either pit early and use up those new tires at the beginning and then, try to save a little bit for the end, or you can just pit twice to where you can use the optimum amount of your, tires. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategy, holds here. You always kind of want to work the race backwards. That's how you do it at, Indy and Watkins Glen and, any track that's really, 2.5 miles that's other than Daytona and Talladega. So it's going to be interesting to see the strategy. I think personally we're going to see a split strategy. Probably like half the field's going to run one strategy and the other half's going to run another. So it's something we're going to have to keep our eye on for sure.
And one other question, this track seems to have fairly old racing surface. Does it seem like a track that'll eat up the tires, or is it more of just a worry of getting the tires too hot around here?
No, it definitely it'll destroy the tires. You run one quick lap around here, you'll probably come around the next lap, probably lose by 2/10 just because of the tires itself. So, conserving, especially the rear tires. This place, I'd take anywhere else that probably UpperEdge Go or even any other series that you and I have been a part of. This place eats up rear tires it's ridiculous. So that's going to be the key for me. The person that can keep the rear tires on it the longest and not, get on the throttle, and spin those tires. I think that's going to be the person that's going to be able to move through the field as the laps kind of, wind down towards the end.
So 5 minutes down in qualifying here, and Michael, we're already seeing the two suspects we named earlier, 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah, a little surprising at the times there. They're not as quick as they were in practice. They could be just saving a little bit. They don't want to beat the competition too bad maybe, but I have a feeling by the time this thing's over that these guys might be down to the low 14s here.
Yeah, Corey Hoover mentioned the other guy in practice who was under that minute 14-second bracket. Hasn't beat it yet in qualifying it, but as you said, doesn't want to tear up the tires too early here. It's pretty impressive right now. The 36, minute 14.7 there.
Yeah, it's a good time. But like I said, it's not really, when you look at it in times perspective, it's still about 4 tenths off of what they ran, there in practice. So I expect them to get down, especially with these guys being able to reset. They'll be able to get fresh tires, just come down pit road. So I have a feeling that we're going to see, faster and faster times once these guys just start getting in a rhythm and start hitting their marks here.
And one cool thing to see here on the board, last week's winner, Adam de Blasio in the 94 there, broke the streak for Flat Out Motorsports and put Rapolo Bros Racing on the board, currently 4th here.
Yeah, you never know. He could be on a good rhythm and a good string for things to come in his future here in UpperEdge. All it takes is that one race to get a little bit of momentum. So, this could be a night where he gets another top 5 here and just continues to build on the momentum that he got from that first win.
So the one interesting thing always about road courses, Michael, and you know this very well, is it seems it kind of divides the field with the guys who have a little bit of road course experience or who like it around here and do well, and other half just kind of struggles for a week, it seems like.
Yeah, it's really strange. All of these guys are relatively good race car drivers. So, when you get them on the oval, they're all pretty similar. But it seems like once you get to a racetrack where you got to turn left and right, it kind of, like you said, it kind of separates. But for one thing is, some people just pick up road course racing, as you and I, they just pick it up real quick and they're just really good at it. That's kind of their thing, if you want to say it like that. And then some people have to practice at it. So you get to see who just are the natural road course racers are, and the people who've practiced at it over time and who have gotten better. So you can see that in a lap that's being ran. To me, a pure road course driver is able to sling it around. See their car get a little sideways every once in a while, but they're still able to put up that really fast lap just because they understand the kind of transition and the weight transfer, as to where somebody who's not so naturally gifted at a road course who has practiced at it, you don't see them get sideways. They're very easy on and off the throttle and on the brake. They let the car roll probably a little more than they need to, but they're very consistent in their lap times, and I think that's going to show up very well tonight. You're going to have the people that are good at road courses for one lap to be able to go and throw it down, and then you're going to have the consistent people that have put time in here probably throughout the weeks coming up here, and we're going to see those guys, I think, succeed tonight.
Speaking of road course ringers there, you see the 33 Corey Hoover was on top, and then the 36 Cal Watmore took it away, but back under the minute 14-second bracket goes the 33 Corey Hoover, and getting to round 2 here, Michael, I think is going to be pretty difficult to knock those guys off the top spot there.
Yeah, I don't see anybody getting up there and really challenging them. I think it's just going to be really a battle for the pole here between Cal and Corey. A little surprised that Corey didn't, show that same pace he did, earlier in practice. But now we see Cal's picked it up to that pace that he had earlier. So it's going to be very difficult to beat these two tonight. It's going to take, probably an accident between them. But you never know. It's a road course. Anything can happen. As we saw last week, you always have that, ability to lag out or, lose the session for whatever reason. As we saw Michael Araya last week while he was leading the race.
Absolutely. Had a chance to go for 4 in a row there, tie the UpperEdge Racing League record there, and unfortunately some computer issues took him out of the running for that one. But speaking of Michael Araya, currently 5th on the board right now. Currently the highest flat-out motorsports driver.
Yeah, talking to him earlier, he wasn't too confident here that he could try to pick up, where he left off 2 weeks ago, but he said he'll be able to finish top 5 tonight. So we're gonna have to see if that plays out in his favor. But as we know, he's always somebody that downplays how good he actually is until the green flag flies. So you never know, he might be somebody to contend with by the end of the race.
And one guy that we seem to talk about every week, Michael, the 29 Austin Hartenfels, currently 3rd on the board right now.
Yeah, he always seems to, be up there in practice. Well, we're going to see tonight if he can get his qualifying, if he actually qualifies 3rd. And I think that's been his biggest hindrance throughout the year so far. It's just he does so well in practice in the races, but he's got to get that qualifying better. especially at racetracks that are so tough to, pass at. Here, it's really not that hard, but, him starting at front's definitely going to help him stay in the top 3 to get a good finish tonight.
Absolutely. RCA Racing actually second and third right now with the 33 Corey Hoover up front. Seemed like he was had a pretty good car last week at Las Vegas, but some troubles early kind of destroyed the race for him late in the going. So looking to rebound tonight, and looking like has a pretty good car to do it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, how far you can actually take it tonight. It just comes down to mistakes. One less mistake than everybody else, and you can, pull off a miraculous win, kind of like Adam de Blasio last night. He kept his nose clean, wasn't in any of the accidents, and, he wound up taking the checker flag. So same thing kind of goes here, at Sonoma. Keeping all 4 tires on the track, you can take the best road course racer, and if he goes off the track, 4 or 5 times, eventually the guy who hasn't gone off the track is going to overtake. So that's something we're going to have to keep our eye on, but it's going to be a good race. It's going to be very interesting lap 1, turn 1, just to see how close these guys are going to get.
Something you mentioned beginning of that, mistakes. It's pretty easy to make mistakes at an oval track and kind of recover from that pretty easily. At the road course, it's about 10 times harder.
Oh, for sure. You look. I look at it this way: at an oval track, you have, 2 corners. They call them turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4, but there really is only just 2 left-hand corners. So you only have 2 opportunities to mess up or, get on the apron and get a little bit loose. Here you have 11 opportunities to make a mistake, and even a small mistake here, can compound the next corner. If you make a little mistake going, on the first left-hander, that really hurts your right-hander on turn 2. At a road course, it's all rhythm. So as soon as you mess that rhythm up, it really messes up your whole lap. So if you get a tire off and you spin, it kind of messes up your rhythm from what you were going. Because the next time you go in, you got to think about, did you go in too hard? Did you get on the gas too soon? Did you not hit the apex right? Did you not bounce off the curve correctly? It's all those things that are going to start happening, compounding in each lap, and it's going to start getting difficult.
So round 1 of qualifying wrapping up here. So the top 8 going to advance to round 2. So the 36 Cal Watmore, 33 Corey Hoover, the 29 Austin Hartenfels, 5 Joseph Tice, 44 Michael Araya, 14 Michael Fennelson, 94 Adam de Blasio, and the 9 of Trevor Apollo. That's going to be your top 8. Moving on, and all under the 1 minute 15 second bracket. Again, only 2 drivers currently under the 1 minute 14 second bracket, and Michael 36 closing in on that practice time, a 1 minute 14 second .4.
Yeah, I think the next round, I think Corey, I think that I don't see really Cal going any faster than that. That's probably a perfect lap time for what the conditions are. For me, it's going to be if Corey's able to get up there and replicate his time and close in that gap that he has and see if he can take the pole.
Yeah, you said don't think he can better. I don't think he really needs to better it at this point. I think he's pretty safe in terms of the pole position tonight. But we'll have to see if Corey Hoover can mount some sort of a charge to possibly gain, looking like 4/10 on the 36. But just waiting for round 2 to start here. Here's some engines revving down there, so I imagine it's almost time to go here. I'm assuming the 5 minute 30 second bracket is when we're going to see cars rolling. And I believe I was wrong, so. One thing to note as well, Michael, I've been seeing Joseph Tice there in the 5 on quite a good run here these past couple weeks, and right now 4th in qualifying, looking like it may be another good run here tonight.
Yeah, I don't really see, a major drop-off in performance for him being here at a road course. So as we get round 2, started right now, as we see the 33 pull out first, I don't see, the drop in performance like I see from, maybe the flat-out guys, that aren't, adapting as quickly as he has to the road course. So I think he's going to get another top 5 finish tonight. Just keeps chipping away. at at those top fives every week. I think last week was the first week he hasn't finished in the top five. So, look to him to be a factor here tonight. He may not be as quick right now, but he's always somebody to watch on the longer runs. He seems to understand to keep the tires under and to just be patient. And I think that's going to be the key tonight. So we're going to have to see if he's able to run up with Corey and Cal at the ending of the race. When the checker flag falls, it doesn't really matter right about now. You can be 3 seconds faster. But like I said, if they start, putting wheels on, start racing each other, start getting into each other, it really opens the door for everybody else.
And that's going to be the most interesting thing tonight, is whether this field can keep up with the 36 and 33, or if they're just going to pull away and run their own show up there. Times are looking like they may just kind of pull away here, but we'll have to see what actually happens come race time, which is in about 3.5 minutes here, so 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. It's actually looking like the top 10 are going out to make another run here, so 45 of Carl Shed got in here a little bit late, but made it to round 2, it's looking like, and currently 9th on the board here. Still looking for that elusive first victory, and it's kind of evaded him all these weeks.
Yeah, this might actually be a really good thing for him tonight. He's not as fast. He doesn't have that pressure of going up there and getting a win. At this point, he kind of realized that he's not going to be the top dog tonight, not going to win the pole for probably the first time in 4 weeks, I think. So tonight's the best night for him to, get those kind of gremlins and get that bad luck out of the way and just kind of finish the race. If you just go out and finish the race, get a top, hope for a top 5, maybe even pull off a win if things go your way. But this is a good change of pace. You're going both left and right. And I think the best thing right now is him not being the top dog. Every week he has to go, he seems to go out there, lay down that fast lap, and then in the race he kind of compounds it and tries to go even faster and just makes those little mistakes, like on pit road and and just spinning out late in the race. So I think tonight's going to be a good night for him. If he can finish the race, I'd look for him when we go to Charlotte next week to be a huge factor on finally putting that win in the win column.
Absolutely. I don't think he's finished one race this season the way he's ran in the race, leading, wouldn't say most, but most of the laps shared with that 44 car there, and just hasn't been able to close out the deal. It's, I imagine, pretty frustrating as a driver.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating, especially when it's so close. That's why I say tonight's a really good opportunity for him to get that stuff out of the way. Knowing you're not going to be the fastest car here, knowing that the win is more of a long shot, than a guarantee like it has been the last few weeks. So it's a good change of pace. Be patient, be smart, and just finish the race. If you can finish here, you can definitely finish anywhere else that UpperEdge goes for their schedule. But it all depends on how calm and how patient he can be. If he tries to go up there and ruffle everybody's feathers and dive bomb, and he's not going to finish the race. But like I said, if he just stays calm, cool, he'll finish this race, and I think he'll have major momentum going into Charlotte next week.
Absolutely. Take it one lap at a time, I think, is some safe advice around these road courses. As you noted, I believe earlier, it almost seems like this track changes every lap, and it gets a little bit harder each lap to take the corners. So, as you said, if you can finish here, you can finish just about everywhere. If you can turn right, should be fairly easy going left here. Corey Hoover knocks another 10th off of Cal, or off the gap from Cal Watmore, and doesn't look like he's going to get any farther here with about 30 seconds remaining. He's actually pulled it into pit road here. So I think it's safe to say we can award this pole to the 36 of Cal Watmore.
Yeah, it's a well-deserved pole. He's almost a full second faster than third place, so it's definitely going to be tough to catch the the car of Kyle Whitmore tonight and the 33 of Corey Hoover.
So as qualifying wraps up here, we'll take you through the grid. I have to see if anyone else advances their position, but on the pole here tonight, it's going to be the 36 of Cal Watmore and the 33 of Corey Hoover. Austin Hartenfels will start third, Joseph Tice fourth, Carl Shed 5th, Michael Araya 6th, Michael Fennelson 7th, Adam de Blasio 8th, Trevor Polo 9th, and Shane Tarian 10th.
Sorry there, my screen froze there. So we have Sean Powell in 11th, Bradley Burke in 12th, Ryan Dyson in 13th, Raleigh Grant Davis in 14th, Thomas Story in 15th, Jamie Dyson in 16th, Michael Thompson in 17th, Nick Massey in 18th, and Jacob Adams in 19th.
Jacob Adams coming off a fantastic run last week at Las Vegas. Finished second there, just about had the win, but Adam de Blasio barely got it over the 19. So these guys finish up qualifying here, and then we'll be gridding here, and then taking the green for 45 laps tonight. Going to be interesting to see the different types of pit strategies these drivers pick here tonight. Could try the one-stop race or just play it safe and go for the two-stop race.
Yeah, I think that's all just going to depend on where you are on the track. For me, honestly, I think I would go for the two-stop strategy. I really like having new tires on my car, especially somewhere here. It's going to be extremely difficult, especially if, like they said, if they're going to pit early and go really long on old tires. So we're definitely going to have to watch for pit strategy tonight and see which driver goes where.
And as qualifying wraps up here, these drivers are set to take the grid. Again, it's looking like this front row may just pull away from this field, but we'll actually have to see what happens when we take the green flag, whether that's the case or this field can hang with them. So, Michael, we do this every week. I'll let you get first dibs this week. I think I let you get it last week, but we'll do it again. Who are you picking tonight?
I think tonight I'm going to go with the 33 of Corey Hoover. He seems to be consistent, in his lap times, and he's got that one quick lap. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it on to you. I can kind of guess your pick, but since you let me go first, I'll let you have him.
Well, I'm kind of stuck between two drivers there. I'm assuming the guy you think I'm going to pick is the 33 or 36 Cal Watmore. But my pick every week has basically been that 45. Thinking I might just stick with him as a dark horse here in the field. I'm probably dead wrong about this, but qualified 5th, so looking like he's got some good speed in that 45 machine, so I have to see if he can take it to victory lane here. Again, been so good this past season, hasn't been able to close it out, but
yeah, as we learned, last week with the 94 Adam de Blasio winning, you really can't count out anybody in the field. So there really isn't a bad pick. You may have your favorites or the fastest, but when it comes down to the checker flag, you really don't know who's going to be taking it at the end of the day.
Absolutely, especially here on a road course with 11 turns around here, and each turn presents its own different challenge. Looking like we're waiting for two drivers to grid here, and then be rolling. Kind of shocked they're start at the start-finish line. Assumed, actually no, I'd take that back. I thought it was at Watkins Glen. They started towards the backstretch, but not sure where I was thinking with that one actually.
I think they used to start him on the backstretch there, but I think now they start him on the front stretch too. But it'll be one pace lap here. Pace lap here, they'll probably be, shutting the car off, saving as much fuel as they can here, just because, like I said, they're going to try to run it backwards. So they'll try to go from, however long they can go, which is, I would say probably anywhere from 25 to maybe even 30 laps on a tank of fuel. So, how many laps is this race, Justin?
This is 45 laps tonight, and not quite sure on the fuel tank, but from what they're saying, 2 stops. Imagine it's probably going to be maybe 15 laps on a tank of fuel. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they probably have it like they do always at 100%. So I'm gonna say they can probably go at least 30 laps on a tank of fuel. Probably pit, and that since you're gonna pit on lap 15 and then try to run the rest of the race out. So if you're gonna do a 2-stop strategy, you'd pit on 15 as well. And then you pit, anytime after that, really. If you want to do it with 10 to go, you can. If you want to do it with 1 to go, you can. So it's going to be very interesting. I'd really like to see the top two pick two different strategies. I think that'd be interesting and very good for the race tonight. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. One of them goes for a one stop, and the other one goes for a two. But we're gonna have to watch out, for pit stops and where everybody kind of cycles through. And we're gonna have to keep on track on who did a one stop and who did a two stop. So for later on in the race, we can see which one was the better strategy.
Absolutely, and I believe the 36 and 33 both on RCA Racing. I'm hoping I'm not wrong on that, but looking like an RCA Racing front row here tonight as the pace car pulls off. These guys going through the always treacherous turn 11, and they'll take the green for 45 laps here tonight. Gonna have to get them regrouped here at a turn 11. But the green flag is out, and we are green for 45 laps tonight. A good start by that 33 of Corey Hoover. He'll get the jump into turn 1.
Yeah, I think that's probably really close. It looked like he might have jumped it just a little bit there, but a good start nonetheless. And it looks like we have RCA 1, 2, 3 right here.
Through what I believe, turn 3 heading into turn 4 here. Gonna be kind of tricky. There's the 14, Michael Fennelson, real loose out of turn 3. We'll keep that car in one piece though.
Yeah, it's really easy to do that. Going from that transition of uphill to straight downhill, it's very easy to do that, especially with that dirt right there. And it's almost like it becomes even a sharper right-hander. But right here is where I'm talking about. If you can keep a rhythm and be really fast through these S's, it kind of nullifies the first half of the racetrack. Because this is where you pick up a lot of speed and a lot of momentum coming down to turn 11.
Absolutely, and this is, as I said, one of the more treacherous parts of this course where bumper to bumper, a little bit of contact can be made around here, so looking like all clear through that corner. Saw a couple guys take it side by side into that corner. Michael, I'm assuming that's not a preferred way to go in there.
Well, it depends on who you are. If you're the guy underneath, and it's the preferred way for you. But if you're the guy on the outside getting past, it's not something that you're really excited for, because it's not only going to hurt the middle of your corner, it also makes the getting off the corner a lot quicker as you try to get to the gas a little bit faster than the guy on the inside to attempt to keep that spot.
We're right on board here with the 36 of Cal Watmore. Interesting to listen actually when he gets back onto the gas. It seems like he lets it get out of the corner before he punches it back in.
Yeah, it's a lot easier on the rear tires if you're straight, when you start working your way back to the throttle. If you got the wheels turned a little bit, it seems like these cars they have so much horsepower, especially for this type of racetrack, that the rear tires just want to let go, especially with no traction control on these things. So the straighter you are on the racetrack, the easier it is to get all 800 horsepower down.
So far it's looking like the top 3 all RCA Racing somewhat pulling away just a little bit, but the 5 Joseph Tice not too far behind. So it's looking like these guys may be pulling away just a little bit, but not as much as I had predicted at the start of this race.
Yeah, one thing we got to remember, it's a long race. 45 laps around here is almost like 100 around, say Dover or Richmond or someplace like that. So it's very difficult. It's very, it's a mental place. You got to understand how the car is going to react lap to lap. You got to remember your brakes, and as the tires wear, you can't drive as far as you could before down into the corners. With these guys downshifting as well, you got to match the RPM so you're not wheel hopping, and so on and so forth. The list could go on and on at a place like Sonoma or any road course for that matter. But slowly but surely, I believe that the 33 and the 36 are going to just keep widening and widening that margin.
Absolutely. I wouldn't underestimate 45 laps around this grueling racetrack. As you said, it's almost like 100 laps around Dover. About a minute to get around here, but it's a pretty grueling minute if you kind of struggle to get around this course in general.
Yeah, like I've kind of said for the past 2 weeks. Sorry there, Justin. It's really, this is one of those places where, it's very easy to overdrive the car. One thing that I've learned though is, you want to race the racetrack, but you always like having that rabbit out to chase. So Cal, might be just letting the 33 car out there, maybe pick up where he's better than he is at, or where he's not as good as he is at, and then use that later on. So it's always nice to have that rabbit, something to shoot for. You see the car in front of you, makes you drive in a little bit deeper, and maybe you actually find a little bit more than you didn't know you had. So, it's one of those places where you got to race the racetrack, but you also have to pay attention to your competition, and how they're performing here. If they're starting to struggle, in turn 7, that's your opportunity where if you get close enough to them, you can make the move. So we're gonna have to watch, keep a close eye on that. How similar the lap times are and where each driver seems to be able to make the pass.
Absolutely. Michael, I'm not sure if you're seeing some damage here in the 33. I don't believe that's actually on the race car. So as we come around turn 11, coming to take lap 4 here. 33 and 36 basically nose to tail here. 29 Austin Hartenfels somewhat hanging on, about a second behind, and then Joseph Tice about 2 seconds back of our leader here.
Yeah, you can even see just if you kind of have a zoomed out view of the 33 and 36 there, Justin, you can see how differently they take some of these corners. One likes to drive in really deep and use the curb. The other one likes to, kind of feather out and use less curb and get a straighter exit off the corner. But they're running almost identical lap times. So it kind of just shows you, that these guys are both comfortable around here, and they each can run and they each can do it in their, in their own way that they feel most comfortable around here to produce almost the same lap time.
Absolutely. We'll watch these two up in the air in the chopper for about a lap, just to, as you said, Michael, point out the differences between these guys, because it's looking like, from what I saw entering turn 7 there, the 33 kind of takes it in a little bit earlier into the corner. 36 pulling out just a little bit. Not going to be able to do anything there, so as we round off turn 11 there, 33 Corey Hoover leads another lap here, and we'll check out some of the differences in the driving styles between these two.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the places that kind of, pointed out to me. The 33 car really likes to drive it to the center of the corner, where the 36 car likes to hit that apex and have that nice arc to where he's, straighter off the corner. One thing we're going to have to watch with that is how quickly the 33 eats up his rear tires doing that. By doing that, you're not carrying as much momentum through the center of the corner, and it's a sharper turn, so you're turning the wheel a little bit farther than the 36 is, and you have to get on the gas a little bit sooner and a little harder. So we're going to have to see if that plays a big role on him eating up those rear tires, or if he's just so confident in that he believes that he can, charge the racetrack like that and still stay in front.
Absolutely. As I said last time around, the 36, as you said, Michael, looks like he looks more for the apex of the corner, and looking like both driving styles are paying off here. So, 36 a little bit tail happy, exiting the S's there. But he'll gather back up as we take turn 11. And one thing it's looking like, Michael, is these two not really racing side by side, but racing close enough. It's looking like that 29 Austin Hartenfeld is slowly closing in the gap here.
Yeah, very surprising. He's running about a half a second faster each lap for the last 2 laps than the front guys. But my question is, knowing how fast these front two are they just saving a little? They really don't have to get out that much. I mean, they're racing teammates, so if one of them wins, one of the team cars wins. So that's something that I'm gonna have to keep my eye on and see if the 29 is actually able to get up there and make a move, or if he starts getting closer and closer, if the front two kind of pick up their pace again.
Absolutely. Either way, I'd say it's a team win here as RCA Racing 1, 2, 3. And then Joseph Tice back there in 4th. The other RCA Racing driver, Ryan Dyson, back in the 12th position. Looking back there, just some of the times, looking like they're all kind of separated out just a little bit. Right now watching the 9, Trevor Apollo there in the 11th position, trying to go after the 51, Bradley Burke.
Yeah, we actually missed some action. I was just hearing over the radio some drivers talking that the 9 was actually under the 38th, which I believe is for 7th. He completely missed his braking point, and definitely flat spotted the right front tire on that one. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that to see if that maybe affects him getting into the hard, braking positions and making hard right-handers from here on out. If that continues to be something that he has problems with.
And we spoke earlier about mistakes. 10 times harder to. 10 times harder. Sorry about that. It's about 10 times harder to recover from your mistakes, and it's about 10 times harder to avoid mistakes, it seems like, here on the road courses.
Extremely. It's one place where you can definitely throw away your race early, just because you don't see many cautions, so you're not going to see that field get bunched back up like we do, at ovals where they run a lot closer. So right now, with those guys being about 6 seconds behind the front guy now, it's going to be very difficult for them to make that up unless they become, about a second faster from here on out. As we look like we have a pass for the lead almost.
And that 36 going way wide there at the exit of 11.
Definitely a teammate move there. He gave him plenty of room.
I have to imagine he might have gotten a little bit loose here, as we'll take a look at the replay entering turn 11 there. Didn't realize the 36 actually had a nose underneath the 33 there.
Yeah, it looks like the rear tires on the 33 car are about to go away, kind of like I said with the way the 36 car is just able to arc it in. You can really see that the 33 gains on him getting into the corner and through the middle, but the 36 car is just able to get to the throttle a lot faster now because he still has more rubber left on those rear tires.
You can already see some glowing brake rotors there from the 36. And speaking of that, Michael, it's as a driver, it's somewhat difficult for me to remember braking points. As a driver, how difficult is it to actually hit your braking points? As we've already seen one mistake by a driver with braking points.
Well, it kind of depends. For a place like Sonoma, it's very easy to pick up on braking points here by yourself because you can go around the racetrack. You can see when the track gets really, really dark. And that gives you a baseline of like, okay, this is where guys are starting to get on the racetrack. So if we, ride on with a 33 car, if we start getting down here into turn 1, you can see the racetrack start getting darker and darker when cars start getting on the racetrack. So that's when they start getting on their brake and slowing the car down. So that's kind of your, visual aid. But then when you start racing against, each other, you stop, you don't have time to kind of pay attention to the racetrack there. So you kind of just have to do it off rhythm. So that's why a ton of practice here is the best. Once you get into that rhythm of hitting your braking points, it really just becomes, you listen to the engine a little bit, hear the RPMs, it really just becomes first nature.
And here we go, a battle for the lead here, Michael. It's looking like I saw the 33 kind of making mistakes all the way up to turn 7 there. The 36 on the outside, looking like the 33 is going to be able to clear him through the S's here.
Yeah, you do not want to be side by side to the S's, but right now, as you can see, the 36 car is a lot better around the racetrack right now. But for me, he's really good through 10 right here if you're on them. He's so quick getting off of 10. He makes up so much ground on the 33 just getting into 11. Looks like he's going to pull the move off here.
And it's looking like he may have the position here this time as they're side by side. 33 takes it wide, and we have a new leader here at Sonoma, the 36 of Cal Watmore. And as those guys were racing side by side through the S's, it let the 29 Austin Hartenfels catch up a ton of time.
Yeah, the reason I say that's the place that you don't want to give up any time is if somebody does hit that properly, it's probably worth a good 3 or 4 tenths just in that section alone because it is so fast. In the slower sections, you can kind of give it up on entry, make it up on exit, so on and so forth. But with the S's, there's really only one way to kind of go through that, and it's either not very good or good. So you really don't have a lot of options there and a lot of lines. It's so line sensitive. If you're wide on one corner, it's going to affect the next. But it looks like the rear tires have almost gone away from the 33 car, like I said, as he gets a little loose there. So you wonder if that getting straight down into the corner has hurt his car for later here in the run.
Absolutely. I could tell us something was wrong there as we were riding on board that last time around. Just didn't look very comfortable in that 33 entering each corner. So going to be hoping, not for a caution here, but have to see what these strategies play out here. And he's definitely looking for some new Goodyears there.
It looks like
36
he
kinda
locked it up a little bit. Oh,
takes
some
it a little bit
of
wide, a
door
little bit of contact there.
It looks like the 33 car just gets down into the corner a lot harder than the 36, and it's letting the 29 of Austin Hartenfels get a little closer. We're gonna have to see if this becomes a regular occurrence down in turn 11, or if these guys are gonna kind of relax a little bit. But definitely looks like the 33 car is struggling on corner exit.
That's one thing I was going to say about turn 11. It seems like every lap, it seems like it gets harder and harder into that corner. That's just, Michael, I'm assuming, just the rear tires, just how much they go away through a run?
Yeah, really, kind of all the tires kind of go away, but the rear tires are definitely the worst. So as we see, we're getting into turn 7 here. It's very difficult to get back to the throttles. You see the 36 car didn't get back to it really well. You don't want to go side by side through here, but it looks like he's going to force the issue, and it lets a 29 car get a little bit closer. This is a great race for the lead right here between 3 teammates. But like I said, everything depends on the S's. Like I've been saying all night. The 33 got.
Oh, and they both go out in the dirt. All of them are out in the dirt. Well, how about that? Now it's looking like the 36 is going to lose second here from the 29. Austin Hartenfels, as the 33 takes it wide into 11.
It looks like the 36 was showing his displeasure with his teammate, the 33 there, taking him on the outside of the S's, because that's extremely difficult to do. You really don't want to be doing that. So it's not good, but the S's are a major part of this racetrack, and it's even a major part, at Watkins Glen. If you get through there, it really sets you up for the longest straightaway, and just multiplies your time rather than decreasing it. The 33 car got off of turn 7 a lot better, so he was able to carry more speed getting in the first part of the S's, but being on the outside hurt him on the exit, as you saw the 36 car was able to get to his rear bumper and kind of push him on a little bit as they both went off the racetrack.
Just taking a look at the replay there to check out all that happened, and it was an action-packed half of a lap we had there.
Yeah, you can see, these guys really believe that the race is between themselves and everybody else is kind of just, partaking in the event tonight, because they're racing each other extremely hard. Yes, they're teammates, but right now they're probably looking at this as their best chance to win and lock themselves into the chase.
Absolutely. So all of a sudden here, 12 laps in, coming to take lap 13. This race has a whole different look at it. 36 was up there battling for the lead, was in the lead at one point. Now it's looking like he's falling back from the lead here, almost a second off.
Yeah, you kind of wonder there if maybe getting all that, whatever it is, sand, gravel, whatever we're going to call it, on their tires, if that affected him more than it affected the 33, or if that front end damage is just causing a little bit of issue for him. But it definitely looks like the 29 car is just being smooth and being consistent. Definitely going to be a contender coming to the checkered flag.
Absolutely, and he hasn't really had to push it as hard as this 33 and 36 has. He's kind of just been riding back there in third, biding his time, and now it's looking like it's sort of paying off for him. Be really interesting to see should he be able to get a little bit of a run here on the 33 of Corey Hoover. We know the rear tires are basically gone on that car, so. And here we see the 36 Cal Watmore enter pit road. It's be interesting to see whether this is the first stop of the night, or if this is the only stop of the night that's going to be made for the 36 of Cal Watmore.
Hearing talk over the radio that there might have been a little accident on the racetrack that didn't quite bring out a caution, but it seems like the 9 car is out of the race, doesn't have a hood anymore, and looks pretty beat up. So we might have to go back and take a look and see what transpired between him and another vehicle.
Yeah, taking a look at it now, and that car is already still destroyed. Go back a little bit farther here. Wow. Not sure how far back we have to go here, Michael. It's all right, here we go. Looking like that's out of 4. And this is going into 7 here. Through the S's.
Oh wow, yeah, it looks like the 94 kind of backed up the 38 there going into turn 10, and it caused the 51 car to get into the back of the 38 there, and and it looked like everything wrecked from there on out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, 51 barely clips the rear end of that 9 car, and now Trevor Polo's racing with a torn up race car. But he's back out at it, so.
Yeah, it definitely seems like he got the biggest damage out of it, which is unfortunate. He's always such a consistent driver. It looks like Bradley Burke has a little bit of left front damage, but he'll probably be able to repair that and get back going.
So now we see the 33 and the 29 on pit road. 33 Corey Hoover, 29 Austin Hartenfels. So looking like just a lap after the 36 has come down pit road here. Kyle Watmore has been cycled back to the 9th position. So they'll just put the 45 of Carl Shed to the lead here. And we'll just have to wait and see what strategies people take here. And with all that, Joseph Tice currently 2nd there.
It looked like getting that one lap on pit road made a massive difference, as it looks like the 36 car might even have a second lead over the 33 as we complete this first lap where they're both on fresh rubber.
Absolutely, a 1.3 second lead currently for the 36 Cal Watmore, who will take over the lead once everything cycles out. The 29 Austin Hartenfeld just about hit the tire barriers there, exiting turn 4. That could have been big.
Yeah, you gotta wonder there if the 29 would have hit pit road first, if he'd have been able to leapfrog those guys, because it seems like he's definitely the most consistent over the long run. But it's going to be very difficult to get by the 36 and the 33 unless there's some badgering for position there, as it seems like they have outright pace. It just seems like the 29's a little bit more consistent and patient throughout the racetrack.
Saw the 36 kind of miss the little rumble strip there through the S's, but no harm, no foul. So currently in the 6th position, and will start to work his way up once everybody else starts to come down pit road. So we've seen this show before here, Michael. Again, not sure on fuel strategy, but I'd have to imagine these guys possibly trying a one-lap or a one-stop race here. You saw the 33 really loose out. I believe we talked about this earlier, but now that we're into the race, Michael, what's a good strategy you're seeing, the 1 or the 2?
Well, right now it kind of goes both ways, really. It really depends on how your car handles and what position you're in. Just from personal experience, I've seen a car pit, that's been a second behind the front guy with about 20 to go. He comes in and gets fresh tires, and he's able to almost claw his way all the way back to the leader, but just doesn't quite have enough. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on is if that becomes a possibility, because right now all the leaders and everybody has kind of set themselves up for a one-stop strategy and a two-stop strategy. From here on out, they can go the distance to the checkered flag, or they can make another pit stop just depending on how their cars feel. So we're going to see, I think, the biggest difference in either the 29 or the 33, if they can't quite catch the 36 and make headway on them, as it looks like they're starting to get into traffic, if they feel like they can pit and get new tires and be a bigger factor at the end.
Absolutely, and from what we're seeing here early in the go, and it's looking like, as you said, Michael, not doubting you there, but tires are going to be a very definite factor on who wins this race tonight. So these guys going through position traffic right now. You see the 38, Shane Terry in there. That's the 3rd position. Then Joseph Tice, a long, long ways ahead.
Yeah, this is really going to hurt the 36 car. But if you watch, the 36 car is going to struggle up the S's. But then as he starts going downhill, this is where he just seems to be so much better than everybody else with getting through the center of the corner. As you can see right there, just how much faster he's able to roll the center and carry momentum.
As you said, it's really hurting the 36. Had about a 1-second lead and then hits the traffic, and here's the 33 right on his bumper. 29, Austin Hartenfeld is not too far behind.
Yeah, I think that they have a little bit of trouble getting past the 38 car here, which they're in a tough spot to make a quick and easy pass. it might just give the 29 car enough time. Looks like he's just going to make room. But that little bit of traffic right there gave the 29 enough time, and he didn't have to deal with the 38. So now he's right back in it as well from about 2 seconds back.
Absolutely, and really all of them now nose to tail here. Leader about 19 seconds ahead. That's the 45 Carl Shed, still yet to pit. And then the 5 Joseph Tice has not pit as well.
Oh, looks like the 36 car made a mistake there on exit.
I was going to say,
but it looks like we're going to see the same picture as we saw before. It looks like the 33 is going to make a wiser decision and let him go and get a better run down the hill.
It almost seemed like the 33 caught the 36 looking there, entering 7.
Oh, looks like we're going to have a battle going into turn 10 here. Nope, the 33 backs off again, thinks other, but it might give the 29
yeah,
a run
the
as
33
car
off
goes
track.
off track.
And the 29 easily going to go around.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky run when you let somebody go when, even though you're underneath them, you kind of give up your corner, and it gives the guy behind you a chance to get that same run you had on the person before.
So now it's looking like clear sailing ahead for this 36. Just going to have to wait for these top 2 to come down pit road, because they're not making any ground on them. And then once they cycle around, it'll put the 36 of Cal Watmore back to the point. Actually see a lap.
Yeah, we'll see how long the... Sorry, Justin. We'll see how long the 33 car gets stuck behind the 29 here. Because I believe that the 29 and 36 car are a little bit faster than he is. So the faster the 33 car can get around the 29, the bigger battle he's going to be able to put on. But right now, the 36 car with them pulling away is just able to save his tires a little bit more, as the 33 is not going to have to battle back for second.
I was going to say, looking like we had a lap car up ahead, but obviously gets out of the way with ease and lets these guys keep on racing. Currently 14 drivers left on the lead lap here tonight. I believe just about 17 took the grid.
And you saw 3 different lines going into turn 11 there. I think the 36 car might have just overjudged his braking point, as it looks like we have a battle for... it's very tight through that quick left-hander. It looks like the 29 car is going to give it to him. We definitely see the aggression out of the 33 of Corey Huber tonight. He knows that this is a really good shot for him to win, and he's taking every opportunity available for him.
Absolutely, and could lead to the expense of possibly getting into some teammates there, but if it's for a win, I don't think it really matters at this point. Still got a long season ahead. Next week we head to Charlotte Motor Speedway and then to Richmond for our first all-star event here. Actually, our second one here on Full Throttle TV, but already through the season and heading into our first and only point-free event of the season. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Charlotte's always a really fun race. It produces really good racing, especially with the A cars. Especially and hopefully with this new dynamic track, we see it widen out a little bit. Like it tends to do, in real life. So that's going to be something we're going to have to watch out for next week. But right now, this battle for the lead is going to start, heating up here, because it looks like the 33 car might be making just a little bit of headway on his teammate in the 36.
As both the 5 and 45 come down pit road now, so that'll put the 36 Cal Watmore back in the lead here. And as you said, it will be a battle for the lead before a short time here, I'm assuming. Looking like that 29 just kind of falling off now and letting these guys do their thing. But we've seen how much ground that 29 can make up as he almost gets in the tires there. Again, off 4. When these guys get side by side or really close racing it, we've seen the gap that 29 can pull up. Here's your
Yeah, it
top.
looks like it. Sorry, Justin. I was kind of listening to just the differences between the 36 and the 33. The 33, tends to jump right back onto the throttle and kind of deal with that little bit of wheel spin that he gets. whereas the 36, eases into it. You don't hear a lot of tires, wheel spin from him either. He just kind of rolls into it rather than punching it, and you really see that play out, especially off turn 10. You can see the different driving styles. The 33 car kind of punches it, and the car kind of wiggles a little bit, and so we'll have to back off and get back on it again, as to where the 36 car in turn 10 is able to roll the center with the throttle. So you have different ways of modulating the throttle that produces different types of corner exit and even center of the corner speed.
Really like how that 33 rolls the rumble strips, especially in turn 7 there. Always riding on board. It seems like that car always takes about a 45-degree angle as he hits that corner. So just hits our halfway point here tonight, and already closing in on 20 laps to go. So race flying by and just about to the finish here. I have to see if these guys come down pit road one more time, or if that was their one-stop strategy.
Yeah, I think turn 7 actually is probably the 33's best corner. He seems to make up a lot of time on entry and exit rolling that rumble strip. So I think if he's going to get the opportunity, that's going to be where he's able to make the pass, because he's just not as good as a 36 car in turn 10. It's one of those things that I brought up earlier. It seems like the 33 car might be better in the first part of the lap, and the 36 car is a little bit better in the latter part of the lap, and he's able to hold him off to the biggest passing zone.
Just taking a look back here through the field, looking like a battle between the 14 Michael Fennelson and the 94 Adam de Blasio, and that 94 car is fairly well tore up. Not sure what incidents he's been in tonight, but it's looking like it's been a tough ride for that 94. The one good thing that the 94 Adam de Blasio has going for him, Michael, is already win number 1 under his belt here, so has to feel pretty confident for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's the really good thing about his win last week, especially heading to a road course. You really don't have to worry about it too much. You can take it as it is, as it being a road course, kind of a throwaway race. You're not going to do it too often throughout the season. So, once you have that win, this race kind of relaxes you. You don't have to worry about the points too much. So you can really just go out there and enjoy yourself, have fun, and maybe you learn a little bit for the next time you're here. But it looks like the 33 car is now closed in right up to the back bumper of the 36.
Absolutely nose to tail yet again here tonight. Seems like they've always been there since the green flag. 33 trying to stick his nose in just a little bit. Not going to be able to work as we head down into 2 and now into 3.
But don't look now. You have, true and steady Michael Arai in the 44 car up in the 4th position. Like always, he just seems to come alive in the races and definitely makes a name for himself when it counts. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on the rest of the race, if he's going to stick to this one-stop strategy or if he's going to go with 2. But definitely running in 4th position, a good rebound from lagging out last week, and kind of gets back to where he's been really all season.
Looking at the 36 and 33 going through turn 7 there, Michael, it's seemed like just about every time through that corner, it seems like Cal Watmore leaves a lot of ground open, really leaves a hole open into 7. Do you think that's more of just missing the apex, or maybe that's just how he likes to run his line?
I think that's how he likes to run the line, just to get a really good exit going into... Oh, it looks like they're going to go side by side, and
33 Corey Hoover really
going
to force the issue there. Side by side into 1, heading into 2 here.
I can't believe they ran side by side. They're, these guys are so good here that they were able to run side by side.
A little bit loose off turn 2.
Yeah, through part of one of the hardest corners probably in the race. It looks like the 33 car just completely jumped the corner there. But that was really impressive. But back to the turn 7, the 36 car likes to get that good exit and run down to, down to the fast sweeping corners of the S's there, where the 33 car really just beelines and straights the corner and almost gets the same effect. So at that point, it really becomes just driver preference on how you make your car feel and how you feel it does with the rear tires.
Some bold moves that 33 Corey Hoover taking tonight. Mentioned, Michael, you were surprised he took it side by side through there. I'm surprised he actually found a hole through there as we came to the start-finish time last time.
Yeah, he's being very aggressive. Like I said, you can definitely tell that this is one race that he had circled on his calendar. Kind of like A.G. Allmendinger does every year. These are the places where he feels he has the best shot to win. So he's definitely going to go out there and give it 110% and take any chance that he can to possibly win the race.
See a little bit loose there, off 2 again. Mentioned that's just kind of how his driving style seems to be. Just kind of punch it in the gas, as you said, Michael, get a little bit loose, kind of deal with it. But it seemed like that's not really going to pay off. Here's the 36 of Cal Watmore back to the rear bumper of that 33.
Yeah, it almost seems, like I said, it's always really nice to have a rabbit to chase. It makes you drive a little bit harder. It makes you see what they're doing as you see the 36 car now taking the line the 33 has been using in turn 7. Kind of just learning what the other guy's doing and how he caught you. And it looks like the 36 car has picked up right on that and has made that ground back up. Because once you start putting together where you're good at and where he's good at, you really start to find a lot more time than you had, while leading the race.
Looking like some lap traffic up ahead again. Just kind of looking through the field here. Checking out the distances. We've been monitoring the battle for the lead here. Ever since the green flag dropped, it's been the best battle on track here, so we take 18 laps to go here. Gonna take a quick break, but you won't miss anything as we're gonna be going side by side. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back to the Sonoma Raceway for the UpperEdge Racing London Recreational Cup Series, powered by Road Life. The Sonoma 150 here tonight. 29 laps down in the book, and so far it's looking like it's been an RCA Racing dominated race here tonight. All their drivers, with the exception of the 45 Carl Shed, have led all the laps here tonight and have been 1, 2, 3 basically ever since the green flag dropped. And Michael, it's looking like the 36 has come down pit road again.
Yeah, so now things are going to start getting real interesting, especially from the point of view of doing, different strategies. Is the 33 car going to stay out the rest of the way, or is he going to pit? Right now, if I'm the 29, I would do the same as his teammate in the 36. Might as well come down pit road. The worst that I believe that you can finish, even with new tires, is third. So I think if the 29 wants to win, I think he needs to come down pit road rather than just following the car that's a little bit faster than he is. He's not really gonna have a shot at it, come that way. But it's definitely gonna be an interesting strategy for sure. We're gonna have to see when the lap cycle around how far the 36 car is behind the 33.
Well, that time around, both 33 and 29 stay out on the racetrack. Right now, 36 Cal Watmore cycles back to the 5th position, about 30 seconds behind the 33 Corey Hoover. So
he has
Go ahead.
So he has 14 laps to make up 30 seconds.
Well, be interesting to see if the 33 stays out this full run. I imagine, the 36 Cal Watmore stayed out for as long as he did and then came down. Then the 33 and 29 follow him. So I have to imagine you're going to see one more stop. If not, you're going to have to question the 36's decision there. I guess felt tires are going to be more important than track position at this point.
Yeah, I've really seen it, go both ways on having new tires and trying to do it on old tires. I've seen it work for the old tires and the new tires way more than once here. But really, to me, like I've been saying on that, I would rather have a rabbit to chase rather than just being out front, burning your own tires up, trying to keep them behind you. So right now, the 36 car can go as fast as you want to for 15 laps. Whereas the 33 car is going to have to go 30 laps on these tires. So he's going to have half the amount of laps on him at the end of it. And just going to be probably able to run about 2 seconds faster, which is what he's going to have to do every lap if he's going to even have a shot at it.
So far, I made up just about a second on the leaders. So that pace is not going to be too quickly to get you up back to the front. So we're only 14 laps to go. Coming down to the 13 laps to go.
Yeah, because right now the 33 and the 29 have kind of made their bed, where they lie, just because of the fact if they do come down pit road, the 36 car is going to have about 4 laps of fresher tires of having like you said, even if it's just a second a lap. So take that, I think he had probably half a second lead he had before, then bring it out to about 5 seconds if they come down pit road. So they've kind of made their bed. This is their strategy. They're gonna one stop it to the end here. So really the race winner is either going to have a 2-stop or a 1-stop strategy.
That's going to be the all-important question. Which one do you choose here? Might just be forced here, but again, don't know quite the amount of fuel these guys can go on. Every time out of turn 4, that 29 Austin Hartenfeld always makes it interesting. It's either hitting the tire barrels there or just about losing it off turn 4. So again, Cal Watmore closes it down about 4 seconds, so 25 seconds back of the leader. Still a long ways to go. Currently back in the 5th position. He's got Joseph Tice and Carl Shedd just ahead of him. The one guy that may be the best here on fuel is that 45 of Carl Shedd. He might just be able to make it all the way to the end on what he's got based on when he came in last time. And he does have the 5, Joseph Tice, right behind him as well, about a second back. Some lap traffic, the 33 Corey Hoover dealing with. Just got around the 41 of Sean Powell. And just in front of him, the 38 Shane Terrian.
Yeah, it looks like that gap has come down to almost 23 seconds now. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. It seems to be clicking away at a pretty good pace. Just not sure if it's enough by the end of the race here. But it looks like the other RCA car has picked up where the 36 has left off and is now running him for third position.
The gap fairly close on the 36 to the 5 of Joseph Tice, about 4.5 seconds to him. So he will make up a little bit of ground to the leader in terms of how many positions he makes up. But not quite sure I can see him making it all the way back up to the front, battling it for the lead before the white flag here.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tall task that he put himself up to, but he must have felt that that was his only shot at winning, as it looks like the 33 is now pulling away from the 29. But it's a really good possibility as we watch that the top 4 is might be made up of one sole team.
So 11 laps to go. Be interesting to see how these pit strategies play off here. Can you make it towards the end, or is it going to be one more stop here? That's going to be the all-important question.
Quick question, Justin. Did the 45 and the 5 come down pit road a second time, or are they still doing the one-stop strategy as well?
They're still only on one pit stop as of the green flag dropping, so it'll be interesting to see, as we said, whether they can make it to the end or not. And looking like already they've made their bed in terms of how late they came onto pit road the first time.
Yeah, they actually have a little bit fresher tires than the 33 and the 29, but being almost 20 seconds behind is not helping their cars. I think the real big telltale sign here is when the 36 comes by the start-finish line here to see how close the gap is. If it's not to about 19 seconds, he's not going to have a shot at the win here tonight.
22 seconds now the gap, so it's slowing down in terms of how much time he's making back up. 10 laps to go here. It's looking like the 33, Corey Hoover, just on cruise control as of this point. Hasn't had the 36 to pressure him into mistakes, and ever since the 36 has come down pit road, Corey Hoover's been smooth sailing. "22 laps led here tonight for that 33 car. Looking like he's going to wrap up most laps led here tonight. Cal Watt in the 36 with 6.
Yeah, and I believe if nothing happens to the 33 car, or if there's not a caution, I believe he's going to lead the rest of the laps here. He just seems to have it all together tonight. He's consistent. I think in the second run, he definitely found a way to keep the tires under him a little bit better. And I think that's the reason that the 36 car felt that he needed to pit, was just because the 33 car had made so much time up on the longer run compared to the run before. That it kind of spooked the 36 car a little bit, knowing that he might not have been able to have that pace later in the run.
Just about 3 seconds that 36 has to go on the 5 of Joseph Tice there, so.
But that gap isn't decreasing like I really thought it would, as quickly as I thought it would. The gap that's closing the quickest would probably be between the 29 of Austin Hartfelds and the 45 of Carl Shedd. The gap has closed almost to 10 seconds, to where before it was about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm thinking the most that 36 makes it up on the board is possibly third, if he's lucky, past the 45 of Carl Shedd. Coming to 8 laps to go here. Michael, I don't know how you feel, but it's looking like that might have not been the best call.
Yeah, he really just does not seem to be making up the time that even I thought he would be on the guys here in front.
Oh, he's actually stopped on the racetrack here. The 36 of Cal Watmore is. Not sure what's going on here. Stopped on what I believe is the access road through the S's there. Or what the Indy cars take. That's an interesting development here. With 8 laps to go. I have to imagine it might have been a computer issue of some sort, but...
Yeah, very strange there. I'm trying to ride on board to listen to what happened to see if maybe he missed a shift in the engine blew or something definitely happened, or if the computer went down. Because to me, he's going through the S's perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden he just goes straight.
Interesting. And you can see back there, he's still on the track. Really off the track, but on the racing surface there, on an access road. As I said, used by the Indy cars here, so... out of harm's way, but... unfortunate way to end tonight as he'll go a lap down. So, Michael, it seems like as we take 7 laps to go here, it's looking like it's Corey Hoover's race to lose here at this point.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was that. As soon as the 36 car kind of pitted there, it really became the 33's race. Just very surprised on what the issue of the 36 car is. Nothing has come over the radio, so we're definitely going to have to find out maybe later what the issue is.
Still on track here, so be interesting to see how long they let him sit there for. Obviously out of harm's way, but the 29 Austin Hartenfeld's about 6 seconds back, so no threat to this 33 as long as it's a mistake-free 7 laps here. Really, at this point, Michael, it's looking like everyone else is just kind of spread out here. Closest on track anybody is to each other is about 2.5 seconds. And that battle for the 3rd place is, as you can see, settled down. 45 has gained some ground on the 5 of Joseph Tice there. So, Michael, it's seeming like that 45 might just be able to put a whole race together here. Won't be the win, but a 3rd place not looking too bad here.
Yeah, it's definitely the night he needed for sure. Like I said at the beginning, if he just needs to put at least one race together here, and I think it'll fire him up for the rest of the season. Build on that momentum that he has as we have about 5 to go. But nonetheless, it was a really good race from the 33 tonight. Pretty much flawless all night. And pretty much flawless by his teammate in the 29, which to me was really, I think, the surprise of the night.
Absolutely. Just RCA Racing as a whole here. Seen most of the season dominated by Flat Out Motorsports. Now it's a different team on top here. It's RCA Racing. Again, didn't quite expect the dominance out of them tonight, but nice to see, even if it might be a team-dominated race, another face on top of the board here tonight. Should the 33 go on to win here tonight, be the first win for RCA Racing of the season.
Yeah, and with the way they've all 3 ran tonight, it's really not a surprise that we saw an RCA car go to victory lane. I don't think they I've really been out of the top 2 spots all night, other than I think the 4 laps that they ran under in between pit stops.
And Michael, we've been talking about RCA Racing possibly going to victory lane, but when we had that conversation, it was more the 29 Austin Hartenfeld we thought was going to make that first stop for RCA Racing in victory lane.
Yeah, he had been so close at the ovals that I really thought that he'd be the first one to get into victory lane, especially with how well he ran Atlanta. But what's really impressed, it really impressed me tonight from him is how well diverse his is. Now, he's not only just a threat on the oval. Now when we go to the next road course, which I believe is Watkins Glen, we'll be able to mark him down as a serious threat, along with the 33 and the 36.
So coming around to take 4 laps to go here. Race winding down as the 33 has just about an 8-second lead over the 29 of Austin Hartenfels. I mentioned the battle between the 45 and 5. Carl Shedd now has about a 5-second gap over the 5 of Joseph Tice. And everyone else just kind of spread out, running their own race at this point. The 33 off in the dirt just a little bit. At this point, Michael, I think it's safe to say that 33 probably shouldn't be pushing it as hard with a big of a gap as he has.
Well, a place like this, it's almost kind of like a short track. You know, you kind of ask yourself, why are these guys pressing so hard? But you really don't want to get out of the rhythm that you've kind of built. You know, just because you're in the lead, you don't want to slow down, because that like I said, it gets you out of your window and opens up the door for massive mistakes. So I'm perfectly fine with him pushing as hard as he is. You know, he has a big enough lead to go out there, you know, and to keep that pace. So if it's not really hurting the overall performance, then I think it's okay, just because that's what he feels comfortable with doing.
Well, it's been working for him as he puts another second on the gap between the 29 and himself as he takes 3 laps to go. .36 of Cal Watmore back out on track 2 laps down. Still kind of unsure what happened to that 36 machine. Had a great running going, and well, now he's right behind his teammate there, the 29 of Austin Hartenfels. Obviously not racing for position, but
something I am keeping my eye on though, Justin, is the 45 car every lap is taking a big chunk out of the leader's lead and out of Austin Hartenfels. Those, I think it's almost 10 laps newer tires are starting to play a massive factor. So I'm definitely watching to see if the 45 is going to go up there with about 3 laps to go and challenge the 29 for the second spot.
Yeah, that last time around, Austin Hartenfels with a 1:20, Carl Shedd with a 1:19. So I believe he might have, the 29 might have had to deal with the 36 there's lap traffic. So as you can see, the 29 out in the dirt just a little bit. The 33 coming around to take 2 laps to go now. And at the end of this, looking like he will have 32 laps led for the night. Again, it's a pretty incredible. RCA Racing led all but 7 laps tonight. It's looking like they will lead the last 2 here. So we'll try and monitor this, what should be battle for second here. As Michael mentioned, the 45 Carl Shedd slowly eating in to the 29 of Austin Hartenfels.
Yeah, the one nice thing now is that the 36 car is in between the 29 and the 45, so he's going to be able to play a little bit of roadblock there for him, especially with 1 to go. But look, you know, as you can see, I mean, if you just go to the, you know, the TV1 angle, when you go around the fast, you know, right-handers, you can definitely see as the 36 car is going to actually get out of the way there. Good move by him. So it's definitely going to be a really good race with 1 to go, as it seemed like the 45 car is making a you know, big lead, you know, big gain on the 29 there.
As the 33 takes 1 to go, white flag is out for the night. As we mentioned, it's been a dominant night for this 33. Back to the battle for second. It's getting very close here. Just about now 0.5 of a second. And it's looking like this 45 car going to blow by the 29 with ease, with how close or how quickly he was gaining.
Yeah, he's definitely putting the pressure on him. And you see the 29, you know, making a few mistakes. But the one thing about Sonoma is you can make your car really wide here and make it difficult for them to pass. So as long as he gets out of you know, this corner well and is able to get a good run to turn 7, I think he might be able to hold him off going down through the S's. It looks like he's going to take the defensive line.
Bumps him just a little bit in the back bumper there. Off into the dirt the 45 goes. And through the S's they go for the final time.
So now we're going to look at 10, you know, getting out of 10 going to be, the next passing zone if he's going to force it. But I think since he got through 7 was okay, I think he will be okay unless a 45 really dive bombs him here. I think the 29 car might be able to pick up second place here.
Off turn 11, 33, going to win the race here. Corey Hoover with the first win of the season. And the 29 looking like he's going to be able to hold off the 45 of Carl Shed here for second. So Austin Hartfels comes home second, Carl Shed in third.
Yeah, well-deserved win by the 33 car. Well-deserved second for the 29. He held off the 45 there at the end, and it was a great race to watch tonight. A lot of action, and you always gotta love road course racing. It always brings new people to the front, and you always have those late race moves and bumps and grinds there.
Michael, it has to be heartbreaking for that 36 Cal Watmore. Thought he could make up some ground by coming down pit road to get 4 fresh tires, and ends up with an issue of some sort that leaves him stalled on a access road. So just saw the 33 do the burnouts there. So while he does some celebrating, we're going to get everyone rounded up for post-race interviews, and we'll be back for take you through where everybody finished, and then talk to our winners here. We'll be right back. just wrapping up events here at Sonoma Raceway for the Sonoma 150 here in tonight's Upper Edge Racing London Recreational Racing Cup Series powered by Road Life. A very dominating performance by RCA Racing here tonight, but before we talk to the winners here, we're going to take you through where everybody finished. So our winner tonight, Corey Hoover, leading 32 out of the 45 laps here tonight, a dominating performance. And then Austin Hartenfels comes home second, Carl Shed third, Joseph Tice fourth, Michael Araya fifth, Michael Fennelson sixth, Ryan Dyson seventh, Adam de Blasio eighth, Bradley Burke ninth, and Shane Terrian 10th. Then Sean Powell 11th, Trevor Polo 12th, Raleigh Grant Davis 13th, Thomas Story 14th, Cal Watmore a disappointing 15th, Jamie Dyson 16th, Michael Thompson 17th, Jacob Adams 18th, and Nick Massey 19th. So now we'll talk to our winner here, Corey Hoover. Corey, you got us?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, I think you can only use one word to describe tonight, and that was dominant. Very strong car there, and a little bit of a battle between Cal Watmore there, and seems like you got the better end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and him, we go pretty far back to racing road courses and stock cars and officials, so I know what his tricks are, and he knows exactly how I race. That's always fun. Same with Austin. I mean, us three have raced a whole bunch together with, on road courses and even in stock cars. It was I had a blast tonight.
Yeah, it seemed like you had a different line compared to the 36 car. To me, I think your best corner tonight compared to him was turn 7. You were just able to get up on that curb and kind of roll the center and get back to the gas a little bit quicker than he was. But it seemed like, that first run, he was a little bit better, towards the middle stint. But it seems like that, after that, when you guys got new tires, you were actually better the second stint on those tires. Did you pick up anything that he was doing, or did you just, or were you just a little bit patient getting onto the throttle that second run?
Yeah, well, going in, we always had the one-stop strategy, so he kind of caught me off guard when he pit early. That forced us to pit with him so we wouldn't lose a lot of time, but I didn't know he was running a two-stop strategy. I think if he didn't have his problems, I think he had to go away for just a little bit. In the end, he would have probably caught us. But yeah, he was certainly better in some corners, and I feel like I was better in... I know he was diving it in hard in turn 11. I don't know how he was doing that. I'll have to ask him about that after the race, or after I get out of here. But yeah, I picked up some stuff. We had a different gear actually through turn 7. I think he'd short shift and I'd stay in second, and then vice versa when I was behind him. So he knows my tricks and I know his, so it's always fun to race against him.
Yeah, it was really entertaining to watch. You guys were side by side through places that, I wouldn't trust anybody around me. So that was really entertaining to watch. It was exciting and a heck of a win for sure. Well deserved, and we know to watch you when you guys go to Watkins Glen.
Yeah, absolutely. I always look forward to the road courses. Haven't been great on ovals this year. Caught some bad luck and just haven't got adjusted to this Cup car yet from running the trucks and the B car. It's certainly a whole different animal. But yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to Watkins Glen running him and some select races that he'll be in as well.
Well, it was a good run tonight, and you solidified yourself into the All-Star race for next week at Charlotte. So we'll see you then, and hopefully we talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks, guys. Just got to thank Kinetic Gasket for being on the car, Hunt Brothers Pizza as well, and UpperEdge Racing for having me, and obviously you guys for broadcasting. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Corey. So now we'll bring in second place here, Austin Hartenfels. Austin, you got us?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you doing?
Pretty good. Well, when we thought RCA Racing might take it to victory lane for the first time this season, we thought you'd be the one to take him there, but second can't be too bad with seeing your teammates race up there, and it seemed like once they did, you were right there for the taking.
Yeah, I knew Corey and Cal would be up there fighting for the lead most of the time. I was pretty confident I could be a solid top 5 car. I know Joseph was fast and Carl Shed. And I feel like usually with these races, and especially in UpperEdge, Corey and I are usually really good on road courses, and we have a great chance at it. And we have been battling every other road course. We've been battling hard for the wins. But then Cal comes into the mix. He's really great at road courses. He's fantastic. I don't know what happened to him there on that last run. I think he had to step out for a second, which is unfortunate because he was coming in a hurry with those new tires. But yeah, it was going to be interesting. It was a good brawl at the beginning, though. It was a lot of fun between the three of us. I think if they weren't battling, they probably would have driven away from me. But I was able to keep up with them because they were on each other's tail.
Yeah, it seems like you were definitely the more patient and conservative out of your teammates tonight. Was that just knowing that, you being able to keep your tires under you was going to be the best option for you to win, coming towards the end there? Or was it ever, coming into your mind that you were going to switch to a two-stop strategy, when you started losing ground to your teammate in the 33 there?
Yeah, I kind of thought about the two-stop thing, but like once I started thinking about it, I thought it was already too late because once Cal pit, it got me really thinking about pitting, and I thought maybe I could pull it off, but I was worried about traffic pulling or getting back up there because I'd be facing a lot more traffic than Corey would, I think, if he didn't pit because he had kind of a clear racetrack. I'd be put back there with people that I'd have to try to get around. So I think, and also the tires probably would have evened out eventually, and they probably would have settled out to where we're about the same speed at that point. So I'm not sure how that really would have ended up. I once I started thinking about it, I figured it was too late to pit anyway. So I just kept at it, and I definitely did not save my tires as well as Corey did, and he started pulling away really hard. And I think Shed had better tires than I did at the end there, and he gave me a run in turn 11, but and that was a pretty big hit. So I don't know how I kept it in turn 11, but and that was fun racing with them. And but yeah, I think Cal definitely would have caught us. I'm not sure if he would have gotten around us and gotten to Corey, but it definitely would have been interesting to see.
Well, it was a good race between the three teammates tonight, and you definitely solidified yourself as somebody that we have to watch week in and week out, not just on ovals. So I'm sure this gives you really good momentum going into Charlotte next week, and a great race tonight and a great performance, and heck of a job to hang on to the car in turn 11. Like you said, that was a big shot. So congratulations, on a top three, and continue this momentum run.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. You guys do a great job up here in the booth, so appreciate it.
All right, so now we'll bring in third place here, Carl Shed. Carl, you got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, tonight, finally, you finished one, not with the win, but a top three, so this has to be a great momentum builder going on into Charlotte.
Yeah, it's been a long time. You guys have been watching the broadcast. You guys know all the bad luck that some out of my control, some in my control. So it is definitely nice. I was laughing with Austin that it was just nice to be on the track when the checkered flag came out.
Yeah, man. Finally, we've been up here. You're talking about you every week. You seem, you seem to run into more bad luck than anybody else, really. With one of the fastest cars. But I brought up earlier, in the broadcast that I think this is going to be a really big momentum starter for you. That as soon as you, like you said, saw that checkered flag, that I think you're going to go on a run here and be able to click off those wins that you've had a shot at earlier in the season. But the one thing I want to ask you about is that final run. If I'm correct, I think you have about 6 or 7 laps fresher tires than the 33 and the 29. But you were definitely coming there. Coming to that last lap, what was your mindset? Being stuck behind the 29 on what places you think were going to be the best place to pass?
Yeah, I figured that honestly my best chance would be the strong right-hander there before the hairpin, because I'd seen him kind of with those rough tires. It's really hard to make that turn, so I was hoping maybe I could get there and kind of try and dive bomb him going into the last corner. I gained on him honestly a lot faster than I would because his tires, like you said, 7 or 8 laps more made a big difference. So. Yeah, I didn't actually mean to run him over. We were laughing about it. I ran in there and I got into him really hard, and then in the midst of trying to keep both of our cars straight, I actually didn't downshift. So we're starting to take off the corner. I feel like I might have a shot, and the car just was bogged down, and I looked and I was in third. But I told him I was happy he ended up taking that. He deserved it. I didn't want to run him over and steal a spot from him. So I think, just you get a little excited when you catch somebody after you've been chasing them from 10 seconds back, that to catch them on the white flag. I just made a couple mistakes there. That whole last lap that ultimately made it, impossible to get that. But finishing behind Corey and Austin, those guys just incredible at these road courses. So if anytime you can finish in the conversation with them, it's like a win.
Well, we finally get to talk to you, after all these weeks. Definitely a well-deserved top three, probably one you've deserved for the past 2 or 3 weeks now. So congratulations, and I'm sure you'll be somebody we could talk to next week at Charlotte as well.
I hope to see you fellas in. Thanks for everything you do, and thanks to my teammates and my buddy Daniel for training us up this week. And we'll see you guys in Charlotte.
All right, so that's going to wrap up our action tonight from the road course. Michael, safe to say RCA Racing fairly dominant tonight.
I don't even think you can say fairly dominant. They own this place, until somebody takes it away from them. When they come back here next season, or if they do come back, whenever they come back, it's going to be an RCA going to victory lane. I don't see that changing anytime soon. We're going to have to see if it's a little different at a faster road course at Watkins Glen. But ultimately, I see, with my little magic 8 ball, it says an RCA's driver is going to go to victory lane at the other road course as well. Definitely a great race between teammates. Definitely a nice change of pace, from the ovals that we've been accustomed to. But next year we're going to go to Charlotte, which is an awesome racetrack, probably top 5 in my book. So get back to what we're used to, and I'm sure we'll see the 44 and the 45 car back up front there.
Absolutely. Picked him again this week, the 45 Carl Shed. Glad it paid out for him this time, and hoping he can go to victory lane when we head to Charlotte. And then after that, our all-star event at Richmond. So we're going to be signing off.
And I just want to point out that I'm now, I have 2 wins under my belt under our fantasy picks.
I have 0 because I've been picking arguably the best guy on track each week. He just can't finish the deal out, but I'm glad we get to see him and actually talk to him this week as Carl Shed finishes 3rd. So wrapping it up for us tonight. Next time we see you, it'll be at Darlington for the High Voltage Racing League. Michael, you'll be in that, and should be a fun one with all the throwback schemes that going to be running over there. Saw some of yours, and it's going to look pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. Got a couple surprises, under my belt for that one, and it's always fun when you get to throw it back to the past and get to relive some of those great moments. But back to UpperEdge, probably one of my favorite series to cover. They always produce great racing, and tonight was just another one. You can't really say anything about it other than you come here, you see great racing, you see respectable racing. No cautions. I think we saw 1 or 2 cars go off the racetrack. It's very difficult for probably 90% of the people that are on iRacing to do 45 laps without going off the racetrack once. So I'm extremely impressed tonight. A great race, a great finish, and a well-deserved winner.
Absolutely. Started out the night looking like the top 2 were just going to pull away from the field, but saw a lot of action between them, and the 29 Austin Hartenfelds able to keep up. So we'll wrap it up there. For Michael Skinner, I'm Justin Kolb. We thank you for watching tonight, and we'll see you Saturday at Darlington.
Have a good one.